Good morning. It's Tuesday, August 26, 2014. This is Tech Talk Today, episode 49, and I'm happy as a clam because I'm joined by the lovely Angela.
Hello.
Good
Here
morning.
I am.
Hi.
Good morning.
Boy, you made great time getting here this morning.
Yes.
I'm told by reliable sources that you had to haul balls, as they say.
I did.
We have a huge show. So the only appropriate response to having such a huge show is to be joined by a council of internet experts. That is our morning mumble room. Time appropriate greeting, mumble citizens.
Happy morning.
Universal greeting.
Hiya.
Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that great turnout we have there.
Holy moly. Hey, everybody.
Isn't that awesome? All right, so you guys know what we have to start with. Oh, chat room, you're on point too. Please bang suggest as we go. I'll suggest our first title. How about that? You ready for this? Somebody put this in for me. Bang suggest Amazon buys Twitch. I think that's got to be where we start today. This is, to me, a pretty big story because we all thought it was going to be Google. And were you following any of these rumors?
Nope.
Okay, so it started actually almost like a month ago. The rumor is that Google was in talks to buy Twitch. In fact, some people thought it was almost imminent. And we started to see signs of it, too. Twitch began to integrate with YouTube. So if you have a Twitch account and a YouTube channel, it now says, hey, this user is live on Twitch right now when you're watching a YouTube video. Would you like to go to their Twitch account? And everybody's like, oh, these are signs that the Googs and the Twitch are starting to work together. Then Twitch shuts down Justin TV. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, they're starting to consolidate. They're going to move over to Googs, and they got to just focus. Then Twitch rolls out Content ID and starts flagging music. And everybody's like, oh, yep, they're totally getting in line with the way the Googs operates. Then yesterday afternoon, it came out, started as rumors on Twitter, and then was quickly confirmed by both Twitch.tv and Amazon that for nearly $1 billion, Amazon swooped in and bought Twitch.
Just with cash.
Yeah, so check this out. So it's both been confirmed by both companies, $970 million in cash, which is actually rumored to be less than what Google was offering to pay Twitch. Ooh. Amazon's clearly keen on getting into gaming too. So I think people maybe are like, why Amazon? Why is Amazon trying to do this? Well, if you track back Amazon's even sort of recent history, say, go back to early 2012. It created an in-house gaming studio back in 2012, and it's even made a few like lightweight Facebook and mobile games that are kind of casual. They have their own in-house game development studio. Plus, they've got the Fire platform, including the new Fire TV, which they're selling with an optional controller, joystick, and all this stuff. Like the Fire TV isn't just for watching video. Right. They clearly said we put a big GPU in this thing for a device like this. So they're kind of even going after the console market in that way. And then for Twitch, why would Twitch want to go with Amazon over Google? Well, for Twitch, being acquired was probably their only option. Alan and I have talked about this. Alan knows. He runs Scale Engine. They do video streaming. And Alan looked at them and said, they're burning through money faster than you can sustain. Mm-hmm. And they don't need just money. They need such a massive amount of infrastructure. Well, what does Amazon have? They've got EC2, right? So that you can see here at the beginning, Amazon already has a bit of a gaming background. They have a platform they want to push gaming for. They've got an incredible cloud infrastructure, EC2 and S3. They've got the money. And Amazon has a track record of buying companies and letting them be. I'll name off a couple you might not even know are Amazon companies. IMDb. Did you know Amazon owns IMDb? You probably know Amazon owns Zappos, right?
No.
Yeah, Amazon owns Zappos. They don't mess with these guys. Amazon bought Comixology. They did kind of mess with Comixology, but so they've bought these companies and they do let them stand. In fact, as part of this deal, it sounds like the existing Twitch CEO will remain a CEO as a full subsidiary under Amazon. So they're not going to take out the top, half of a company like they sometimes do in an acquisition.
Right. Interesting.
So Twitch needs global infrastructure. YouTube could have certainly fit that bill, but Amazon with its web services can also fit that bill. And you have to figure that Twitch could turn to be the live streaming platform that powers everything from gaming to concerts. I mean, when you have an infrastructure like Amazon behind it, Twitch could become huge. So let's toss it to the mumble room. Anybody in there have any first reactions when they heard Amazon buying Twitch? What was your first thoughts? Go ahead, open room.
Diversification is winning for them.
Right. Okay, sure.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That is the one up from Google getting Twitch because, they already have the platform for gamers, A lot of people were on YouTube already.
Are we witnessing though, like is it Eric, is it the diversification or is this straight up are we now seeing war? Is it an Amazon Google war? Because yesterday Amazon also announced their own ads platform to compete with Google Ads. Well, that's Google's bread and butter.
Well, great.
And they have their own app store.
I think
they have their own
great.
fork of. I think it's great too. But I mean, is this it? Is this one of the first big weapons in the Amazon Google war? What do you think, Eric?
Well, this is something that Rika and I were discussing. Is that really what it comes down to is diversification is the new business paradigm. You diversify or you die. One or the other.
Right. I mean, that's why
you're gonna
Facebook
have
bought
to-
Instagram, right? Because one of the most popular apps on the iOS platform besides Facebook, number 2 in the 22 to 30 or like 22 to 30 range is Instagram. So when you're not in Facebook, you're in Instagram. Well, guess what? Facebook owns both those apps.
Oh God, I'm a statistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and if you don't hedge your bets all over the place, what's going to happen when one market crashes?
Sure.
Suddenly you've got to pick up.
Well, no,
something
it's
else.
totally. I mean, that's why Jupiter Broadcasting runs on a diversified funding.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
Yeah.
did that intentionally because it was really scary to take it full time and rely our only income on the company. But
Yeah, and huge sites can get MySpace. You can be the biggest site on the internet that everybody's talking about, everybody's on, and then one day you're MySpace and nobody's on you anymore. And you're all on Facebook, right?
nobody's on my space.
MySpace.
But MySpace didn't diversify. And
Right,
Facebook did.
Exactly. And so now you have Amazon, who's kind of looking at the big picture here saying, well, we're not content with just selling books. We're not content with just selling movies. We're gonna sell everything. We're gonna sell every physical good, exactly, every digital good, cloud infrastructure services, and now they're gonna own game streaming, and they're gonna own the premier one. And this is the part that I think you cannot underestimate about Twitch's value, because you think about it, boy, I've heard people say, $1 billion to watch people play games. No, what is $1 billion is the fact that Twitch services are integrated into everything. Every current gen console shipping includes Twitch streaming. Every modern piece of computer streaming software includes presets for Twitch streaming. Right? Everything has Twitch.
We should see if we can get Galactrix to come on because he uses Twitch daily. Every day I get a
So does Rikai.
notification. But Rikai's in house.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I think the outside perspective
Yeah.
from somebody that uses it on a daily basis, like what their thoughts are on it, would be really cool. But have you heard of Amazon Smile?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is.
So I don't remember what the URL is, if it's smile.amazon or amazon.smile, whatever. I don't know. But basically, it's like the affiliate, but for charities. And so
interesting.
Linux Foundation, I believe, or one of the Linux. There's a Linux. You could do like your distro.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And part of your purchase goes towards.
It's 0.5%.
That's really cool. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
So here you go. You've got Amazon now, and you got to figure there's something to this story that really we don't know yet. A lot of speculation around, well, what happened? Why was Google so close to supposedly sealing the deal, and then all of a sudden Amazon swoops in? The first narrative that came up is that, Twitch likes the autonomy they'll have under Amazon. Twitch likes the Amazon gaming focus they're currently working on. But very quickly, a second narrative began to pop up, one that could have some weight, and that is that Google got a bit of the cold feet, and Jeff Bezos jumped
Backed
on that
out?
opportunity. Yeah, so here's the ideal. No, Jeff Bezos from Amazon. Google was unable to close the deal, some people familiar with the talk say, because it was concerned about potential antitrust issues that could have come with the acquisition. Of course, the Mountain View, California company already owns YouTube, the world's most visited content streaming site, which competes with Twitch to broadcast and stream, because remember, YouTube's also live.
Yep.
And this was my concern, too. I was concerned about consolidation of the streaming market if Google bought Twitch. Some people are speculating that are supposedly familiar with the matter that Google started to get concerns and maybe signs from regulators that there was going to be some antitrust concerns here. So Google and Twitch couldn't really come to an agreement. And so because of that and the risk of a potential breakup fee if the deal failed that would have been imposed upon Google.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Breakup fee.
A breakup fee.
Okay.
That Googs sort of slowed down, stopped the talks, and then Amazon swooped in, offered a little less money, more autonomy. Bob's your uncle, deal made.
Yep.
That sounds legit, right?
Yep.
Totally. That would have been an epic fail, to get busted up like that. That would have just been disastrous for them.
Super embarrassing too. And then where's that leave Twitch, right? As a small company that's really super crazy focused right now, to take that kind of time away, acquisition like that is so distracting for a company because so many rumors start inside. People don't know if they're going to lose their jobs. And so when you stretch that out and then it fails, that can be devastating for a company that's struggling to just keep above water. So and also just from a market consolidation standpoint, I actually think this is a great purchase. I'm not Amazon's biggest fan anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm a little creeped out that Amazon wants to literally sell us everything. Like at some point, like if they were successful, then the only store we'd be buying from is Amazon.
Yeah, that reminds me of Wall-E. I can't remember what the...
Yeah, the big store that they had, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was essentially the
Yeah.
Walmart. It was a
Yeah.
Walmart and Wall-E.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm worried.
What was it called?
I know.
I'm worried we are
Yeah, it's
slowly
slip
seeing
my tongue.
Yeah, I'm worried we're seeing Walmart 2.0 being built in front of our eyes over like a period of a couple of decades. So that I'm not super excited about. But
Amazon teabags Google.
that's an interesting.
By
Is that a
and
title suggestion?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Hyperion. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I just wanted to wrap my thoughts was I was thinking when we were talking early, when we were speculating about this purchase, I was trying to think who could buy Twitch that I'd be happy with. And Facebook crossed my mind. And I thought, I don't like
no.
that. Right. But I was thinking in terms of who has money.
Look at all your friends that are streaming right now.
Right. But you see, that's why they would do it, right? Like, I could see why they would want to do it. I don't want them to do it. But
I wouldn't. Yeah.
No, but you could see why they would want to do it, maybe, because they like to own everything, and you could
Yes,
totes
yeah.
integrate it with Facebook. You could even have, like, live streaming on, like, business pages and stuff, so you could just go to the Jupiter Broadcasting Facebook page.
Nobody
and,
sees business pages. Facebook
Well,
doesn't want businesses on
there's that
Facebook.
problem. Yeah, there's that problem.
But yeah.
But I'm glad it wasn't Facebook. I'm glad it wasn't Googs. And then I was like, who else would buy them? Like, if Apple bought them,
Stream.
well, maybe. but
Apple bottom jeans.
if Apple bought them, jeans,
Boots with the fur.
they would devastate them, right? They would disassemble Twitch and then integrate it into like some crappy product. If anybody else bought them, I just couldn't see it really working out, except for Amazon.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of genius on Amazon's part.
I think so too.
I hope they don't change it too much.
Yep. Well, maybe we'll find like in a year or so they'll have to sell it to Google for like $5 billion.
Well, this is the thing, is like Amazon kind of does like either really awesome or really meh, and they're kind of known for it. Like Amazon's kind of known for like having the good enough brand. Like think about like the Amazon Basics for your cables. Just that right there is like, it's Amazon, it's good enough. And like Amazon's prices, like for Prime, like their Prime Music service sucks, but since it comes with Prime, that's good enough. Right? And that's
Yeah.
how. So I hope they don't make Twitch good enough. I hope Twitch is allowed to, and maybe if they keep it separate like they have with Zappos, Twitch can continue to rock at what they do and just have some big pocketbooks to pull from.
So, Wigra Foley's says YouTube is going to double down on tips to try to get streamers to go with them. Well, the thing is that this is like a niche. You know,
Yeah, I don't
gamers
know.
are a small part of
Yeah.
YouTube, and a lot of
but-
gamers still use YouTube.
You can't deny, though, that sometimes those Twitch streams have incredible views. They
Oh,
really
Yeah,
do.
totally.
For sure,
Totally.
for sure, for live streaming, yeah.
And-
But the published content,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's how I see it. Twitch is like live
Yeah,
TV,
it's-
and YouTube is the DVR.
I think Google is kind of chuckling to the people that are like, oh, YouTube better watch out. I don't think
Oh,
YouTube's
no,
going
this-
to lose anything.
No,
You
because
know?
they'll just continue to integrate YouTube streaming
Yeah.
with more stuff.
Yeah.
It's just better competition.
Yeah.
And I think Twitch will continue to do a better job of focusing on gamers and integrating with gaming platforms. It's something YouTube's just not focused on.
I got his name right.
Who?
I don't. I I can't say it again. I don't know how I said it.
Who?
Uh,
Somebody in the chat
Wigger
room?
Follies.
yeah, that one.
Oh, Wiggle Waffles?
Wiggle waffles.
That's what I call them.
Oh my gosh, that's probably the best mispronunciation ever.
All right, so let's shift gears and talk
Okay.
about a little disappointment that makes me sad in my heart.
Wiggle waffle.
The White House cybersecurity czar brags about his lack of technical expertise. A lot of you sent this story in, so I wanted to cover this one
my
because it's
God.
so frustrating. So this is the guy, Michael Daniel. He's the White House cybersecurity coordinator, the man who leads the interagency development of national cybersecurity strategy and policy for Obama. And in a recent interview with GovInfo Security, he argued that his lack of technical expertise gave him an advantage in his job. I love
Get
this.
him the hell
You know what? He
out of
sounds like
there.
every middle manager I've ever
I know.
met.
I was just going to say exactly that. That's exactly what I was just going to say. Here's his exact quote. You don't have to be a coder in order to really do well in this position. This is Daniel saying that his job required it didn't require the knowledge of the technology and how it worked. In fact, he says, actually, I think being too down in the weeds at a technical level could actually be a little bit of a distraction. So now we're doing the self-justification, right? This is how he's justifying it to himself for taking this kind of responsibility and not having the skill set. He says you can get taken up and enamored with very detailed aspects of some of the technical solutions he explained, arguing that The real issue is looking at the broad strategic picture, implying
This guy's a moron.
that if you have technical skills, you are incapable of looking at the big picture,
Right.
which is very insulting.
Yeah. Why is this a story?
Why is this a story? Because this
Yeah.
guy is one of the big things right now that's happening in sort of like government policy is this huge push into cybersecurity, and we are establishing we have offense and defensive cybersecurity soldiers. We have real-time people that are like staffed and ready to go to cyber war. We are trying to get huge contracts to secure all the different infrastructure things. So
Cyber
there's-
war against the U.S.
Anybody who would
ourselves?
attack us,
Oh.
terrorists, the Chiners, anybody who's gonna get us, Ange.
Chiners?
That's what I'm
Okay.
projecting,
All right.
a little. Okay. So, anyways, and it's this big narrative that is coming out of the government right now, and the guy who sits at the top of that pyramid, who advises Obama about these daily threats that are supposedly could be devastating to our economy, doesn't know how to use a computer. That's a little disappointing.
Okay.
Because
I
it makes
see.
it all seem like it's theater almost.
Right. Okay.
I don't know. And a
You
lot
know-
of folks sent that story in.
Here's my problem with him is that if you're going to be in charge of something, you better know how to do that as well.
Amen.
Yeah. A Princeton computer scientist who commented on it said it's hard to imagine senior policymakers with responsibility for other technical subjects making this kind of claim. Imagine a White House economic advisor arguing experience in the weeds of economics research would be a distraction.
Exactly. Totally.
Yeah.
It's 100% on the money.
Just a quick, Hawaii. Now, they're competing with Samsung, so of course they're going to say this, but this guy, in a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal at the company's headquarters, the head of Hawaii's, or Oahu, however you say it, the Consumer Business Group, talked about the future of the global smartphone industry and how they'll compete against Samsung and Apple. When asked about maybe using Tizen, saying, hey, maybe your problem is that you're just making the same kind of Android device that every other manufacturer in the entire world is making, have you considered differentiating with Tizen? His response to that question: we have no plans to use Tizen. Tizen is a Linux-based open-source smartphone operating system. Some telecom carriers are pushing us to design Tizen phones, but I say no to them. In the past, we had a team to do research on Tizen, but I canceled it. We feel Tizen has no chance to be successful. Even for Windows Phone, it's difficult to be successful. We have no plans to build our own OS. It's easy to design a new OS, but the problem is building the ecosystem around it. So Tizen's dead, according to Hawaii. Anybody want to argue that point? Ouch.
If you're a cheap Chinese manufacturer, you've not got the money to spend on random OSs and building the ecosystem around them.
Yeah, and here's why. Here's why he says that is because it's a Samsung product primarily, and they're competing to the death with Samsung right now. So, of course, he's not going to want to use their competitor's operating system, or the one
They
that they're
compared
behind.
it with Windows too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of different. And
Well,
Windows has no chance of using existing apps, whereas a Linux-based system could potentially do
Yes,
that.
that's true. You could almost plug into an existing ecosystem where Windows doesn't have that option. A couple of little show things we need to talk about. Before we do that, though, I just want to mention patreon.com/today, where you can support the Tech Talk Today program, but more importantly, every single show on the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. This is where you go. Angela mentioned earlier in the show that we are big on diversifying our income sources. We do this through this system. We have patreon.com/today, where you can help invest in the Jupiter Broadcasting Network. We use these funds to fund all of the shows. Then we also mix that with our sponsorships and other things that we can do to sort of try to average out where all the different money comes from. So that way, if one thing failed for Jupiter Broadcasting, you don't lose all of our shows. We don't go away. And you can help us keep this show around, keep all of these shows around, and help us expand over at patreon.com/today. And any swag stuff before we?
Yep. So on September 1st, the payments will run for the August subscription. And for the swag pledge level people, I will be creating a custom swag for pretty much, I think, each person. But yeah, if you
Cool.
want to get in on a 1 month of swag, this would be the month to do it. Because what I do is on September 2nd, I will pull the names of the people that had a successful payment, and they will be the people that get the custom swag. I will then start working on that swag and hopefully get it ordered and shipped to me and then mailed to you hopefully by the end of September.
Okay, so this is
you definitely will get it. It might be late September, early October.
depending on how much work is involved.
With your successful September 1st payment.
Patreon.com/today. And this is probably the last time we'll have a chance to remind you before you can get in to get that at the pledge level, which is if you go to patreon.com/today and scroll down to the bottom, we have some suggested pledge levels.
And if you are an Unfiltered listener and you would prefer to do
The Unfiltered swag level?
Yeah.
That's also an option.
It's the same swag for both. I mean, it's the same unique. Anyway, it's custom swag for all those people that are in the swag levels for either Patreon.
And here's why you're kind of your last chance to go to patreon.com/today, because we do not have a show scheduled tomorrow. This is kind of a special moment for Angela and I. Our son is about to start school. He's about to go into kindergarten. Why don't you tell him what we're doing tomorrow?
So we're doing the school barbecue. And we get to see his classroom and meet his teacher and ride a bus with him. It's going to be awesome. And then we are going to take the 2 older kids to the Evergreen State Fair.
Yep.
And this year, Abby, despite measuring her last year, and she was totally 36 inches.
Not that we're bitter.
Or 33. They put a yardstick to her and were like, nope, she can't go on any rides. So I had to carry her around with a newborn last year.
Which is too bad, because she's pretty hardcore. I think she could have done it.
I know. So anyway, she's built tough.
Yeah.
So this year they can both go on rides together. It's going to be adorable.
Yep.
We're all going to have bracelets and we're all going to go on all the rides. No strollers for the first time in 6 years. No baby.
So we're doing I'm just taking the day off. I normally, if I am not recording shows live, try to pre-record, but I'm giving myself the full day off. We'll still have BSD Now on the live stream, but no Tech Talk Today tomorrow or Unfilter. I'm just going to take it off, and then on Friday, I would typically try to make up these shows on Friday, but that's PAX.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to be down there recording stuff for probably Tech Talk Today and other shows. So I don't really have another. So I'm going to let myself take it off. I hope you'll forgive me. But we'll be back on Thursday with our last Tech Talk Today of the week, and I'll let you know how the fair went.
Yeah.
and we might have some more on the Amazon stuff too by then. So
yeah.
That's going to be a story. I think that's probably the big story of the week that a lot of people will be writing about throughout the whole week. And since you're here, we got to play a retro commercial, and I know you're a bit of a Mac fan.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take you back in time a little bit, back in the good old days when Apple was struggling and Windows ruled the world.
Windows support Bill.
Windows support Greg. Did you try
IRQ4?
TXT.
Try IRQ5.
Okay, type
Greg.
copy space C:\\\.
Type
Windows
/S at the desk. Windows support Greg.
What does it take to support the personal computer users in your organization?
Windows support Greg. You still there?
That may depend on whether they're doing things the hard way
Windows support Greg.
or the easy way.
Mac support John.
Please hold.
Yeah, hang on. This call's for you guys.
Macintosh from Apple.